Hey guys, Matt here. This is my review of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This movie is directed by Wes Ball, who previously directed the Maze Runner films. This movie stars Owen Teague, Freya Allen, and Kevin Durant. Now, the plot of this movie takes place generations and many years after the death of Caesar, who was the main character in the three previous Planet of the Apes films. And the land is ruled by apes. They are the ruling class, and some of them perceive Caesar and his message and what he stood for in a positive light, others, like King Proximus, in a negative light. And our main character, Noah, played by Owen Teague, must traverse this world and learn what it takes to survive, but also he's helped along the way by a human character named Nova, played by Freya Allen. And our new main character of Noah is a young, naive ape. He has friends, he has a village, and when things become shaken and he's having to step up, we see this nice character arc of Noah, who's this young ape who learns what it's like real quick to survive in this new world. Having heard they're making a new Apes film, I got real excited because I've always been a fan of this franchise. I think the original Planet of the Apes film is groundbreaking in every sense of the word for all of cinema across the board, and I really enjoyed Dawn of the Planet of the Apes the most out of the newest trilogy that we've got. But I was skeptical because at the end of the third film, we all know how that ends. I wasn't sure where they were going to go because Caesar was such a strong, profound presence that I didn't know who the characters were going to be, what the story was going to be. I wanted Caesar to live on, and though he couldn't physically, he does figuratively. Now, this new direction takes some getting used to because, like I said, the character of Caesar was so charismatic and he was just so different from really any main character of any franchise. But this new movie set us on a course for a bright new direction. Did I enjoy this movie? Yes, I did, very much so. Here's why. Having seen this movie, I can compare my feelings to having seen Avatar: The Way of Water, in the sense that it was a new movie, and though I wasn't incredibly sold on the original film, going into this new one, there were so many characters and this plot was different that I didn't want to like it. But then afterwards, I was like, okay, I understand that the story is following younger characters and what they've learned and what their environment, their surroundings, and their peers, what they instill on them, and the way they learn, the way they perceive things. And that's the same thing with this movie. It's your main character is a young, moldable, impressionable character, and by the end of the film, you're like, okay, this character has arc, he's changed, so now I'm real curious what the future holds. And I really like that aspect of the movie because you start off with a young character, a new character, and if they're going to make another trilogy like I hope, then I'm real excited to see where this franchise goes. Now, granted, there have been about, 9, 10 films, so they can only do apes versus humans, humans only, apes only, in a blending of the two so many times. But if this is supposed to be a paradox and all the movies are supposed to eventually loop around and connect, I'm really intrigued. Now, as far as the acting goes, Owen Teague as Noah, the young, impressionable ape, like I said, he was fine. You had this character that was a kid. He acted like a kid, spoke like a kid, perceived the world as a kid. And one thing I do really appreciate about this character is with the apes, since it's motion captured, the best way to perceive feelings and emotions is with the eyes. Caesar did it, and now Noah does it here in this movie. When he's learning, when they're taken aback, when they're angry, it's all in the eyes. Speaking of eyes, Noah has a very particular set of eyes that has me real curious about where they're going to go with that character. Freya Allen as Nova, the human character in this movie, she was good. She's definitely more than meets the eye, but it was nice to see a human character in some sort. I thought this was going to be just apes and majorly apes, but she added an aspect to this movie that I didn't expect, and especially after the third movie, I'm also curious where this character is going to go moving forward. Kevin Durant as King Proximus Caesar, he's a good role. These movies are going to have a character like that where when power ceases to be, someone has to step up and kind of take on that mantle, and he does a fine job of a bad guy once again, because that's what Kevin Durant does best. A boastful, loud, force that's always a bad guy. In his movies, he does it well. His role was smaller than I thought it would be, but it was fine. You have a side character of Raka. I forget the actor's name, but he's an orangutan that instills the words and the teachings of Caesar to young Noah. And I'm also excited to see where that character goes, if we see him again. And then you have William H. Macy co-starring in this movie as a human character. And his role was quite small. I would equate his role to, like, maybe Gary Oldman's in the second movie, but a lot like Brian Cox, his character in the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, where anybody could have played that role, but it was nice to see a big name actor in it. But still, the character is hit or miss. Something else I like about these kind of movies is the post-apocalyptic genre. Whether it's this movie, Book of Eli, Fallout, what have you. You've got older characters that remember what the world was like before, and then you have new, younger characters that call things by the wrong name or experience things for the first time that, we all take for granted because we knew what that was or we know what that is. And that's always nice to see certain characters, different generations acting accordingly. This music in the film was really good. I also like when movies have debris or things that are abandoned or ruins that have wildlife, trees, vines, moss, what have you growing over them, because it just shows you the passage of time and how things that were once great structures are now just plain old pile of rocks or rusted metal or what have you. And Wes Ball does a really good job of showing buildings and trees and things that have grown old over time and just rotted away. Now, if you've seen the movie, maybe you can answer this for me in the comments. There's a scene in the third act when they introduce King Proximus. It looks awfully familiar from the third movie in the film. I think it's the same location. I'm just going to say it involves a big door. That's it. Some people say it's not the same area, but remember, the third movie took place during the winter time. So if it's the same place, let me know, because I'm pretty sure it is. So, because the acting in this movie is good, but they kept the central character of Caesar still alive and well, figuratively, I'm excited to see where this franchise goes, because I have some speculations as to where certain characters are going to take us on this journey. And it's still crazy to think that, James Franco wanted to cure Alzheimer's back in the day, and this is the world we got. And we fell in love with an ape named Caesar. So I'm real excited to see what happens next in this world of apes. So because of that, I'm going to give Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes an A-. So until next time, guys, see ya.